Hey guys, it's Jeff and welcome to today's video. Today I thought we were long overdue for a little guitar collection update, and this is exactly what we're going to be doing today. So I've been pretty busy with a collection lately. I've sold a couple guitars. I've already bought one new guitar, which is right there, which is going to be the reveal of this video, and I'm planning to sell 2 more guitars and to buy 2 other guitars to replace them. So just to give you a bit of a tour of what my collection looks like right now. Over there we have the Epiphone Tom DeLonge ES333. That one is sort of a guitar that I don't really want to sell. I don't use it much in shows, but I really love it. It's special to my heart because it's a Tom DeLonge signature. So that one is a keeper. It's going to stay in the collection. Then you got my standard Mexican P bass. That's also going to stay. I've had that completely hot rodded to my specifications. Right next to it is going to be my new guitar that I'm going to show you at the end of this video. So stay tuned for that. And you got my Taylor. That's another keeper. It's a very, very fun acoustic guitar. It's a pretty good instrument. It's like right in the range where it's quality enough that I can use it for pretty much anything, but it's also still cheap enough that I can sort of bring it around. So I think that is going to be my main guitar, at least in the acoustic department for a while. And you got the Yamaha acoustic. That one I'm a bit disappointed with, to be honest. As time goes by, it's not exactly what I wanted to buy initially, and right now I'm sort of developing resentment for that instrument, which for some stupid reasons, so I think this one is going to have to go. I'm going to hopefully change that by the end of the year for another acoustic guitar. I got a couple of ideas. Obviously, the Normans that I spoke about in the previous video are something that I'm really interested in looking into, like the B20 or maybe the B18. They're really nice Canadian-made, sort of mid-range acoustic guitars. I think would be a good upgrade to the Yamaha. Maybe another Taylor or maybe a Guild. I've seen a couple Guild guitars that were really interesting, so that could be something that I'm looking into. But anyway, you can expect that this is going to go. And then my SGJ 2014, that's going to stick around. It's not the kind of guitar that's really appreciated enough over the years for me to flip it for a profit. I kind of like it, so it's going to stay. Flying V is another keeper. It's more of a marketing tool at this point. It's just a guitar that I want to be known for playing around my circuit. So it's a fun guitar. It looks rad. I've upgraded it to the way I want it to be, so works for me. I think that's going to stick around. The Gothic Les Paul, the Epiphone, obviously that's going to stick around. It's my first real good guitar my mom got me when I was 16, so that's going to have to stay. And then the Charvel Les Paul, the white active Les Paul. This thing is just amazing, so that is definitely a keeper, and that's going to stick around. And then we got the Ibanez acoustic bass. That's going to stick around. Just because it's a cheap piece of kit, I wouldn't get much for it, and it's always fun to have around, you know, for a fire or something you want to play and you pull out the acoustic bass. It surprises everyone. It's a fun piece of kit, so that one's definitely going to stay. The recycled bass is something that I built myself. I'm not going to sell that, obviously. What is most likely going to happen to it at one point is I'm just going to disassemble it and do something else out of the parts, and that's kind of its legacy, I think, will be to be this bass that just keeps going around. The ATK 200, I'm not too sure what I'm going to do about it. It's going to become very clear why in a few minutes when I reveal the new instrument. She's sort of giving it away now, but yeah, it's a fun instrument. It looks really striking. I like it a lot because it reminds me of the beginnings of my channel. Like my first good videos were kind of with that bass, and people were asking me questions about that bass, so I got a good nostalgic memories for it. But other than that, I don't think it has much place in my lineup, so I might end up selling it or just keeping it as a memento of some sort. And the 5-string bass obviously is going to stick around. It's been modified. It works great. It's worth nothing, but sometimes I need a 5-string, so there it is. Then you got the RG8, the 8-string. That one is definitely for sale. Right now, I'm considering whether to just sell it outright and only use my Les Paul for like the lower drop tunings, or maybe just trade it down to a 7-string. A 7-strings I think is more manageable than 8-string, and I don't really like playing the 8-string thing. I don't need it, so 7 is probably the way I'm going to go, but we'll see about that. And then the Ibanez RG370 DXZ, that's just a workhorse. Has been upgraded. It's not worth much, so that's definitely going to stick around. My Tom DeLonge replica Fender, I'm also going to keep that, obviously, because A, it's a replica, B, I built it. It was my first guitar that I built, and C, I just like it. It's a Tom DeLonge thing, so that's going to have to stick around. And finally, the Telecaster, the Mexican standard, that's also going to stick around. I mean, it's always useful to have a single coil Telecaster around. It's the classic thing, so why not? And I also have the homemade Fender Jaguar that I built in the video series before. That's going to stick around as well. Eventually, I might upgrade that thing to a higher level. For right now, it's there, and it's just something I'm proud of having built, and that's where it's going to stay for now. Now, as far as what's gone, you'll notice the Telecaster John 5, that's gone. I didn't really have a use for that. It was just another kind of standard guitar, 22 frets, dual humbucker. It didn't really have a place place in my lineup. I didn't have much of a use for it, and it wasn't like a striking guitar that I wanted to keep for any reason, so I decided that that had to go. I've also gotten rid of the fake PRS because that was completely useless. I sold it for like $100. So by cleaning a bit of room here, I was able to make space for this new purchase. This is an insane deal that came up about a couple weeks ago. One of my friends is moving away, and he's got a pretty substantive guitar collection. He showed me what he had, and I was really impressed by this, so I decided to get it. So without further ado, let me show you what the guitar is. And here it is. It's a Mexican standard Fender jazz bass. I think it looks pretty freaking dashing. It is a 2015 model. Let me just hang it there. So now I got the jazz and the precision next to one another. I have a pretty good use case for it with family reunion, so that's why I said I don't really know what I'm going to do with the ATK 200 at this point. With this thing, I don't really need the ATK anymore, but we'll see. I love this burst. I wanted a burst guitar for so long now, and I always end up not getting one, but this time I got one. So I'm super stoked about that. So I guess all that's left for me to do now is to just play the thing a little bit. Not gonna go into too much of a review today. I just want to jam a bit on it. Definitely have that up and more videos coming very soon, so stay tuned for that. That's been it, guys. Thanks for watching. See you in a bit.